Since we're getting near to December, I thought I would start reading some cozy winter books. Even though in Indonesia there's no such thing as winter, but I still gotta get into that vibe. And so I have picked out 5 books, 5 cozy read for winter, and I'm going to start with One Day in December by Juicy Silver. I believe this was a viral book back in like 2020 or something. So I'm starting One Day in December. Guys, I've only read for 23 minutes and I've reached page 33, which is like 10% of the book, and let me just say, the drama is already brewing. I don't know how to go from this. Like, this is kind of messed up. I don't know what's happening. I'm already 70% into the book, and I can say that I don't know how they can resolve from this problem, or should I say obstacles, unless like the worst scenario happen. Because unless that happens, they are just such, I'm going to put it as kindly as I can, problematic people. But I also get how this can be, I don't know, relatable because of the emotional turmoil that they experience, which, I mean, I myself haven't experienced that, but maybe some people could relate to that. I don't know, so I'm not going to judge it just yet. Obviously I'm going to finish it, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, I finished One Day in December by Juicy Silver. To cut it short, it's a book with dual POV. The main characters are Laurie and Jack. Love at first sight, right person, wrong time trope. They met again under an unfortunate circumstance where he is the boyfriend of her longtime best friend, and it is set in the early to mid 2000s in London. My review for this book, this wasn't the start I hoped for, since I had this prejudice that cozy winter books would mean that it is magical, festive, Christmas, snow, like all of that jazz. But I couldn't feel that from this book, since, I don't know, the drama kind of hides them away. But maybe the good thing about it is that it feels stagnant, even though there's so much drama. But it is also entertaining, as in I need to just continue after each chapters, because the plot is just like, somehow it got very complicated that I was curious how it would unfold, how they would solve it. So that's the good thing about this book. And then, oh my god, my opinion on Jack, I don't get the hype. It's just, you might get it if you read it. Like, it's not really a good impression on him, since it is a dual POV and the readers know what he's thinking. He's not really a green flag guy. There is a quote that I like from this book that I think it like perfectly describes this book, which is, it's not a direction I would ever imagine I go in, but that's okay. Life does that, doesn't it? Reroutes you as it goes along. So, to conclude my first book for this video, for One Day in December, I read this for 4 hours and 29 minutes, and I rated it 3 out of 5 stars. I'm just going to move on like to the second book. I already read until 29% of it. It is Midnight in Everwood. This is more like a fantasy winter book, so I'm already feeling like the magical side of it, so at least that is already checked out. So far though, it's giving me Bridgerton vibes, but like in the winter. I love it, kind of. but it's still like in the early stages where they're just trying to introduce the world setting, so I can't really comment anything about it for now. Okay, so with the next update, hopefully I can already get like a gist of the fantasy side of it, because right now it's like it's only just starting. Okay guys, it has been like a few weeks since I started the second book. I actually DNF'd that book. I just put a pause for that for now. I just started to read again, so I'm not like completely immersed in reading yet. And you know, fantasy, they have like a lot of world building and I'm just not ready for that. So I'm going to continue with the third book, which is by the same author who wrote One Day in December. It's called A Winter in New York. I actually didn't realize that this is by the same author until I saw the cover of this, and it did a shout out to One Day in December. I'm hoping that this would be like a better read. I hope that I can actually like the character this time. Okay guys, I finished my third book, which is Winter in New York by Juicy Silver. I just finished it and right now I'm feeling it's like a 4-star read. I read it for 4 hours and 80 minutes, by the way. You know what, I like it so much better than One Day in December. Rather than this being like a dual POV between the love interests, it's more of a dual POV, but like it's Iris, which is the main character, and her mother, Vivian. It just captures their kind of like relationship somehow like so beautifully, guys. Like even though the chapters were like, they're kind of long, okay, they're kind of long for my taste, but I love the story overall. It also felt so cozy. You guys really need to read the synopsis of this book because I cannot explain it as good. I tried to explain it in my other video, but like I'm still not, and I still don't have the ability to do it. Basically, Iris, she lost her mom a few years ago, and then she was like in a toxic relationship, so she finally booked a ticket to the other side of the world, to New York, because London is just so miserable for her. Okay, yeah, why she moves to New York is because she has like this diary, this scrapbook that her mother has. It was owned by her mother, and it told a story that, oh my god, she was so fond of New York. So Iris thought, oh, let me see why she was so fond of New York. And then one day she stumbles upon like a familiar place in New York, which is a gelato shop, and she discovers that there is way more connection happening between her mother and that shop, precisely the family that owns that shop. It's all just like very confusing, and she's also kind of like the avoidant type, which I'm kind of dreading, but at least at the end it resolves beautifully, I guess. I mean, I like it. I like how it resolves. Oh yeah, why I think it's cozy is because of the family, guys. Like the family that owns the shop, the Bellotti family. That family, they're such a close-knit family. Like while reading it, I feel like their family is just like a rest from the world, like a big warm hug that you get after being so tired of having to put up a front outside. It feels like that, guys. They feel so cozy, and I feel like this is the perfect winter book. Moving on to the next book though, I think I'm going to be reading The Christmas Countdown by Holly Cassidy. I'll update you later about what this is about because I truly don't know. I just read the word Christmas and yep, putting that right in my Kindle. I know it's like well past like the winter Christmas time already, but I have finally finished. Though it's not really like a perfect finish. I think the last time I did an update, it was about The Christmas Countdown, right? It was like already 2 weeks ago or something. Yeah, so I didn't finish that one. Guys, I just couldn't get like the connection between the two characters. It was kind of forced, but maybe it's also like my current, I don't know, condition. I felt like it was repetitive and it's forced, and there was a lot of dad jokes. Like the book was basically made of just dad jokes. That is like the one thing that connects them, and I wasn't feeling it. So in the meantime, I read this, A Winter Promise. This was originally a French literature. This is like a fantasy book. Some might say that it resembles Harry Potter, that kind of fantasy. Okay, so I think that the plot is interesting. Okay, let's imagine Earth. Earth, but all of the lands, they are combined together. There's still one whole thing. Someday there was like a catastrophe. So what happens after that is that this one land, they became separated into separate lands. By the way, the land is like called the Ark here. Ophelia, she's from the Ark, which is called Anima, and she gets married, arranged marriage, to another Ark. Let's kind of say like something more like a royalty from that Ark. So like basically in this first book, there's like only 3 arcs mentioned, which is the Anima, Pole, and this is actually kind of cringe, Landmark. Sure, like you can get the connection instantly, but like that's it's kind of cringe, guys. Landmark. We're not going to tell on that. So in Anima, they're like basically one whole family. They're all cousins, and they don't have like, let's say, hierarchy. And so we follow her journey in the Pole, where it's like way harsher than in Anima. There are 4 books in this series, and although like the first one, stuff happens, but I can already tell that it's like we're not even reaching the surface. Like we are still floating above the plot. I know that some crazy things are going to happen in the later books, so I didn't really find it that special. I rated it 2.5 star, and I read it for 6 hours and 50 minutes. You know what though? What irks me is that the characters, oh my god, this is a me problem though. Like I gotta imagine the characters to be attractive, but I need to imagine them like based on the description that was given in the book, right? But from what I gather, from what I conclude myself, okay, the characters, they aren't portrayed as, like attractive. That was kind of off-putting. Although, for Ophelia, her description, I imagine her as like Hermione. Their descriptions are pretty similar. So she's like still in the okay for me. But the love interest, however, the description is just ain't it. Since he's blonde, I just kind of imagine him as like Aaron Warner, if you guys know from the Shatter Me series. That's how I managed to continue the series normally. You know what, I'm going to make a video just about reading that series after this, so I'm going to go more in depth on that video. And so I think that's where I will leave this video at. Although it wasn't what I hoped for initially, at least we got some good readings out of it. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.